Connecting to the internet in the 90s and early 2000s was certainly a bit of a struggle. Well, in this part of the Eric experiments, I'll try to recreate that experience, so let's go, let's do it. Let's just do it.
Modern technology is an amazing thing. We live in an era that we're connected 100% of the time. We can access information, talk to people from anywhere in the world, and stream high-definition video at any time from the palm of our hands. The world has never felt this small.
For many people, that's the only thing they know. They were born in a super connected era. But that's not how it's always been, so let's set the scene here.
It's 1998. You have been waiting until midnight to go on the internet, either because it's less likely someone will need to use the telephone, or because it's cheaper to connect at that time. Or maybe it's both. Regardless, when midnight rolls in, you run to your computer, open the dial-up connection, and click on connect. After a few failed attempts, you're in. You're online. If you are an America Online customer, you hear those sweet, sweet words.
Welcome, you've got mail.
But even if you aren't, the sky's the limit now. You can go to any website you want. Maybe you can search for some Pokemon ROMs, you can download some wallpapers for your PC, chat to your friends on IRC or ICQ, or you can download like one song.
Yeah, like one single song, because that's gonna take the whole night.
That's nothing compared to what we can do today, but the possibilities felt endless. Being online was super exciting until...
That's the internet experience that I and many other people had when we were younger. So you might be asking, why would you want to relive that experience in 2021? Well, the first reason is that I think it will be interesting to revisit that experience so we can appreciate how much technology has evolved in the last 20 years. The second reason is, well, nostalgia, of course. Who doesn't miss that sweet, sweet sound? So how can we experience that in 2021? Well, that's what we need to figure out. For a dial-up connection, we need a landline phone, and I don't know about you, but I don't have one of those anymore. So we need a way to simulate that. After a little research, I found about these things. What is it? I'm glad you asked. This is an analog telephone adapter, aka a NATA device. This thing serves the purpose of connecting old analog telephones to VoIP services. The cool thing about some of these is that they allow you to connect two phones to it, and with some configuration you can configure them as pass-through devices.
The tutorial I found on how to do that is for the Cisco SPA122, but it says it should work with the Linksys PAP2T, which is the one I have. The only thing that wasn't in the tutorial was that I need to enable IP dialing in the configuration. After doing that, we effectively have a phone line simulator.
Awesome, now that we have a landline, we need something on the other side that we can dial into. One option is to have another computer with a modem, but I came across this video from a channel called The Livingroom, and he uses one of these Apple Airport Extreme routers. This thing is cool because it supports PPP, which allows us to dial into it as if it were an internet provider, and it's easier to set up than a whole dedicated computer. Another cool thing about this device, as the guy in the video mentioned, is that it can provide Wi-Fi to old devices that only support WEP encryption. Like this HBI pack from the early 2000s, which I'm planning to make a video on, so stay tuned.
So now we just need to configure it to accept calls and set up a username and password. I'm using Compuland as my username because it was an internet provider from my hometown I used for a while. Cool, now that everything's configured, we just need to connect everything together. Then we need to connect our modem to the wall.
Yeah, I made this thing so I can have a wall socket to connect my computer to.
Then we can set up our dial-up connection and... Bam! Welcome to the World Wide Web, a place where you can visit my website, www.ericexperiment.com.
Seriously, make sure to visit my website, it does work on your Netscape browser. But wait, aside from my incredible website, even if loading any modern website via Dialup wasn't going to be nightmarishly slow and we could bypass the SSL encryption, there's no way we could render them with web browsers from the 90s. Not only that, but we're trying to have an authentic 90s experience here with websites from that time period. How can we do that, you ask? Well, with TheOldNet, of course.
TheOldNet is a service that allows us to access websites from the Wayback Machine on old browsers by stripping everything that isn't compatible with them and stitching broken links. On top of that, they have a proxy service that allows us to browse the old internet as if we were in that time period. They actually do a lot more than that. I highly suggest you check their website out. Anyways, we just need to configure our web browser to use it. The port is the year that we are targeting. And that's it. Welcome to 1998. As expected, this is slow, and it's even worse in my case because my connection can't go faster than 21.6Ks for some reason. I don't know if it's the modem, the Apple AirPort, or the auto configuration. Regardless, this is so cool. Being able to browse the internet just like if we were in the 90s brings back so many memories. Look at this cool Pokemon trading card game website. Man, I love the look of websites from this time period. I miss those times.
Don't get me wrong, would I want to actually go back to exclusively using Dial-Up and only having access to those simpler websites? No way! I can't live without websites like YouTube and the convenience and speed of the modern internet anymore. But here's the thing, as amazing as the modern web is in terms of technology, I feel it lacks personality.
These are the home pages of Microsoft, Apple, IBM, and Nokia in 1998. They all looked very distinct. Now look at them in 2021. Yeah, they all use a very similar design language now. It's not only them, most company websites look similar to each other. A lot of them with these sterile illustrations of supposedly inoffensive but boring faceless people. That's one of the reasons I designed my website the way I did. Also, gone are the days where people had their own little websites. Now people have social media profiles.
Again, don't get me wrong, I do use social media, but aside from being able to change your profile picture or maybe your profile cover, there's no other way you can personalize your Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram profiles. Remember how much you could personalize your MySpace page? Yeah, a lot of pages hosted in services like GeoCities were messy as hell in terms of design. But they were generally designed in a way that reflected the personality of the person who built them. They had a lot more personality. On top of that, there was a lot less toxicity on the internet at that time. Of course, there was still reprehensible content and hateful/angry people on the internet, but there was a lot less of it, and those times felt more innocent. People seemed a lot less cynical. There are probably multiple reasons for that, but my main theory is that it was because posting on the internet was a lot more of a hassle. People would have to update their website by changing HTML, then they would have to connect to the internet via dial-up and upload their changes using a fairly slow connection. That probably allowed people to cool down before posting stuff, which ended up making them focus more on their passions and interests when posting on the internet. Be it cooking, gaming, programming, anime, or whatever the hell this is. Also, the internet was like this new shiny toy. People were more curious to see what it could do and what it had to offer more than anything else. Now, however, the internet is everywhere. We're used to having it around us and know very well what it can do. On top of that, with social media, we have the ability to react to what's happening in the world in real time without being able to cool down and reflect about what we're posting. Of course, again, it's not all bad. This technology has allowed us to organize and protest totalitarian governments. It allows us to share life-saving research around the globe and lets me communicate with my family who lives on the other side of the planet. And I would never give that up. I just wish it wasn't as toxic and it had more personality. And that's what I miss about the old internet.
And there you have it! Being able to use the old internet in 2021 is certainly a treat. I'm so glad that there are organizations like the Internet Archive that are working hard to preserve so much of our modern history. Not only websites, but also books, movies, software, newspapers, and more. And also services like TheOldNet that allows us to experience this history just like if we were there. You should definitely consider checking them out and donating because the work that they are doing is super important. I'm sure future archaeologists and anthropologists are going to appreciate them a lot. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly loved making it because this is a subject I'm super passionate about. If you did, make sure to press the like button. And if you like content around retro computing, retro gaming, and other random stuff related to technology, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any parts of the Eric experiment. Thanks for watching.